Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. My name's Keely O'Brien and I am an author and a crafter. So here is something that I'm making. It's a book that I rescued from the charity shop bag. I love the book. You can see some of the bits and bobs of me making this book in a different video. So yeah, I wanted to progress this one today. I've been fighting a cold and I've not actually filmed any of this for about a week, so I'm just getting my head back around what I want to do with it. So yeah, the book was by Nicola Bailey, as I was going up and down another nonsense rhymes. I think I said nursery rhymes in the other video, but whatever. So I cut out Nicola Bailey's beautiful illustrations from this book because it had a few drips of coffee in it, and it just wasn't in quite such good nick anymore. And I've been really trying to filter down the number of books I have in my home because I literally have thousands. So yeah, this one was gonna take the hit, but I really couldn't bear to lose all these gorgeous pictures, so I did cut them out, and I thought I would try and rescue the book and use it for crafting. So you can see some of these, obviously they go with the nonsense rhymes. You know that one? I eat my peas with honey. I've done it all my life. It makes the peas taste funny, but it keeps them on the knife. Duh. So yeah, I might even incorporate these back into the book because I think that would be a fitting tribute to Nicola Bailey and her amazing illustrations. Probably those. There's a couple more here. Gregory Griggs had 27 different wigs. Not sure I can fussy cut all those wigs out, but we'll see. I could maybe do something with that. And oh, the man of the wilderness asked of me how many strawberries grew in the sea. I answered him as I felt good, as many as red herrings grow in the wood. And look at this little boy. I just love Nicola's artwork so much. I doubt she's going to see this, but if you are watching, Nicola, apologies for cutting up your book, but I intend to do it justice by including those which I didn't even think of when I was doing my previous video. It's funny how these projects evolve. Any road up. So I've made the cover last week, or part of it. You can see I haven't done the spine or the back yet, and these are my Gelli prints. Okay, if you're wondering where I got all these gorgeous bright patterns from, so I made these to kick off the Gelli postcard play challenge, where unfortunately I kind of failed the challenge, but it did get me going on YouTube, and I had so much fun. I've done 13 postcards, but I've just had to stop. I've not been feeling too well, and I just felt it was time to pause the postcard making and start doing some other projects, because I don't want to get bored. I don't want you to get bored. I'm sure I'll make more postcards in future. I might even go on and do number 14 and so on. But anyway, I'm rambling all over the place. So what I've done, I've been through my pile of Gelli prints, and some of these are just offcuts from the postcards, but I've tried to pick out all the colours that I wanted to make this book contain. So those are the little pieces. Now I've sort of, if you've watched my postcard videos, you'll see that I've got loads and loads of greens and grungy dark sort of mossy colours and teals and turquoises and metallics. But I think what I want for this book, for a complete change, is lots of light, bright, I'm thinking sort of mango colours and oranges and pinks and these gorgeous mauvey sort of slightly purpley colours. So I'm going to try and avoid green this time, just to give it a bit of a theme and to make it, you know, just sort of hang together colour wise, rather than going too crazy and throwing everything in, including the kitchen sink. So I've been through my pile of Gelli prints, and I think I've filtered out what I don't want to use. That's gorgeous, but it has got a bit of green, so I might not use that. But these are all sort of maybes. That was my first postcard. I cut out that part for the background. That's why some of these are funny shapes. That might work. So what I wanted to create so that each page had its own sort of juicy background, and wanted to use my butterflies book and my I can't reach, there we are, flowers book, to use the images to make the backgrounds sort of just have even more elements in them. Not sure if I can bear to cut some of these up, but going to be brave. That could work. It's funny seeing these again because they just remind me of the postcards I made with them. Loved that pattern, haven't used it at all yet. And some beautiful mauves, a little bit of turquoise there, iridescent colours that maybe don't show up unless I flap the pages. Now I'm thinking about using this as the back of the book because I love that, and I'd like to be able to enjoy it maybe in pride of place on the book, and that might work well too, because wouldn't you know it, these papers, the size I did them, are just slightly shy of the size I need to fit across a double page. And also, as you can see, some of them are going to come out sideways, and I do want everything to be the same way around, vertical. So yeah, what a shame. If I'd had maybe a 12 by 12, I probably could have put a whole double page in, but it's going to make me work that little bit harder with my designs. As you can see, this one, I sort of mitered in some orange there, which is this colour in the background, and I used up some of these little pieces just to balance out the colours a little bit. And if you saw my last video, you'll see the fussy cuts that I'd prepped up, which I think I'm going to use on this page. And my idea being that there's a bit of camouflage going on. If you look long enough, you'll spot all the little butterflies and flowers hiding amongst the jazzy patterns. Okay, so then I thought to myself, how am I going to include Nicola Bailey's beautiful illustrations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9. That doesn't mean I have to use all 9, but I would love to try and get some of these little people in there as well as part of the surprise on each page. Then I thought, if you've seen my video of my latest book that's just literally come out last week, Afternoon Tea, Ephemera to Cut and Collage, the theme I think goes quite well with all these little old-fashioned sort of vintage and humorous, slightly food-based, somewhat English looking, in my opinion, illustrations. So I am toying with the idea of using some pictures from here as well and nestling them in amongst the illustrations so that it's a little bit posh afternoon, high tea, and it will just be fun to use some of these and just make a book that's slightly crazy. It was a nonsense first book in the first place after all. Anyway, let's see what I can come up with. Okay, so I have decided I am going to try and include a bit of afternoon tea in this book, and I've just been flipping through. I'm probably going to veer off from my original, let's just do flowers and butterflies here, and let's not make things pop out. But I thought this lady with her tea, that slightly mauvey pinky top, would go really nicely on this page. She'll kind of blend in, but you'll spot her there. So it is time to take the scissors to my new book. Where are they? There they are. Okay, so if you haven't seen this book, there's a flip through video. It's got like a mauvey lavendery thumbnail on YouTube. There's some nice papers on the back of these as well. So I'll show you what else I found in just a second. I'm going to have to break the spine here to get this one out. So I'll fussy cut these off camera because you will fall asleep watching me doing that otherwise. Now there are some really good metallic elements in this book, but I might come back to those, but I do want to use these because look at that cake. Now those colours are going to sit beautifully on that page and she can be enjoying the tea. And I thought also that little tea tray, maybe a small teapot as well, and they can all be kind of floating around on the page, creating that beautiful colour scheme and theme. And the metallics, you can't see me, hang on. The metallics will stand out a little. I might even include some cutlery, so there's a bit of silver just as detail for the, yeah, there we go. Okay, I could change my mind because if you've watched any of my videos, you can see I haven't exactly planned this. I kind of ponder on camera a bit. Sometimes I go with it, sometimes I veer off in another direction, and to be honest, that's how I roll, and that is, oops, how I like to do things. And I'm not very good at making decisions. That little pot might work, but I don't want to use all these lovely images up straight away. We have got a teapot there. Let's just go with those for now. Might come back to that later. Okay, I'm off to fussy cut these. See you in a sec. Okay, I'm back. So I have fussy cutted a little teapot and cups and silver tray, and the lady and the gorgeous cake. Now I don't want to introduce too many more colours on this page because I think it's doing what I wanted it to do. So I think I'm going to ink around the edges of these images before I stick them in with Hickory Smoke archival ink, and the link to all the things I use is in the description down below. So let's just ink around. This will also help to pull together the edges of the book because I think I'm going to go around the edge, and it'll just tone down these white edges. I don't know about you, but it's tricky doing people's hair because there's lots of flyaway bits. I do try in my books to tidy the edges up a little bit, but it can look a bit weird. So I do it to an extent, but not entirely. Otherwise they look like they're wearing a crash helmet. So you have to be very careful with the really fiddly bits so that they work well. Now it's not particularly vintage, this book, although actually I've just used the vintage tea set. So I don't want it to look too sort of brown, but who knows, it might end up going down that route. There we go. Oh, I love inking around the edges. Yeah, I think that will sit a bit better on the page without those bright creamy white edges. Same with the flowers. And I find this archival ink is quite handy for toning down little bits within the picture as well that maybe don't want to fussy cut because it's fussy cutting. Now I did find my craft knife, if you've been watching my other videos. I'm getting my gear together gradually, things that I owned. I did find it in the shed, in the toolbox, as we were clearing out the shed the other week. And I have moved house so many times, it's quite tricky to find things sometimes because they've been packed away and not unearthed for sometimes years, sometimes even decades. So, show my age. Anyway, so I'm getting really excited about Easter. Not Easter, oh come on. Autumn. It begins with a vowel, what can I say? Begin to get really excited about autumn, except for the fact that I am going to be sweeping up leaves in my garden. It's a bit of a marathon, sweeping up the leaves. As soon as you've swept them and swept the deck, they're back again, because we do have a lot of trees in the part of London I live in, which is wonderful, but hard work. So yeah, but I love the colours. I love the sort of fresh air of autumn and the crisp mornings. Not so much the misty mornings, although it can be really beautiful. But I do miss the countryside. I need my fix. So you might have heard me say that I go to Kew Gardens quite regularly, which is fairly local to me, which is wonderful, and it's peaceful apart from the aeroplanes going over to Heathrow Airport. And yeah, lots and lots and lots of gorgeous trees and glass houses, orchid houses, and all kinds of tropical plants, stuff like that. So yeah, I shall definitely be going back there soon to make a visit to Kew Gardens. That's if it doesn't chuck it down with rain. Oh my goodness, it poured yesterday. I was so lucky I got home from work early. If I'd been half an hour later, I would have looked like a drowned rat when I got home. The heavens opened. Buckets of water came down. Okay, sorry, this is taking longer than I thought it would. Don't want to muck it up, but I'm going to try and power through these. So how this will work, this afternoon tea theme / Nicola Bailey illustration theme / flowers and butterflies, who knows, but I'm going to try it anyway. Oh, you'll notice I cut the antenna off this one. You know, sometimes life's just too short. I might draw some in if I remember. But I'm liking how they blend in. I love these little mauvey butterflies so much. And they do look good with a bit of blending because they've got this goldy edge to them. I think I must have used one from my butterflies book in one of my postcards. There we go. Haven't I done yet that one? Oh, I need to get gluing in a minute. There we go. So I've been working on my new website, keelyobrien.com. It's not quite there yet, but I'm getting there. Oh, thank goodness for YouTube. I know I'm now a YouTuber, but it's such a brilliant place to learn things. So I'm learning how to embed a newsletter sign-up page at the moment, and I'm not the most technically gifted person, but I'm really having to up my game to get everything done because it's just me and I don't have a team or anything. Could do with a bit of help really, but there you go. So watch this space. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks would be nice to have a glossy, bright, colourful website for you to enjoy, and that would include, or will include, my books and all the links you need to find them, and some of the lovely reviews people have written me on Amazon, and a little bit more about each book. And I literally, while I'm prepping for this video, found out a way of embedding some YouTube into my website, so that hopefully will also direct people back to my flip through videos of my books. So most authors don't have much to show if they're showing a book that they have created or written. Reason being, it's probably just loads of words, which are not very exciting on camera. But my books obviously are colourful and bright, and you know, I want people to be really, really happy with what they've bought. So it gives them a chance, gives you guys a chance to look through and see whether the images are the sort that you would like. And obviously you can see what I'm got on offer by, did I do that one? No. By seeing what I've been making as well, and some of the options for things you can do. So, do you know what? It is nice to be working on something other than postcards. I just felt I needed to open up to a few more types of project. And I wanted to use those Gelli prints. God, it's so hot. Can you see I'm sweating? Oh dear. Menopause symptoms, probably. What fun. Not really. Tell you what, it's not for sissies, the menopause. Really does kind of challenge you from time to time. Let me know if you agree. If you're also going through that particular thing. Actually, I've been much better, but yeah. Anyway, right, I'm going to stop there because I just need to sit down, cool off, and then I will get out the glue. See you in a sec. Phew, that's better. Sorry about that. So while I was sitting recovering from my hot flush, I had a sudden thought. So this page is going to get busier and busier, and I know I hadn't planned it to go that way, but have a look at the colours of Nicola Bailey's beautiful cow having afternoon tea, or dinner more like, and a glass of wine, with this balding gentleman with a kind of mullet tied back into a ponytail. But look at the colour of the cow's hat and that tulip. So it's got the orange, it's got the purple. I think I can shoehorn it into this page, but I don't really like the yellow. I think there's just a bit too much colour going on there, so I'm wondering whether to hide it under the whatever that flower is, antirrhinium or something. I'm not sure what it is, but anyway, so I'm thinking about that. I don't often overlap my images. I should do really, because I wanted to overlap that just to tie it all together rather than just have all these disconnected elements floating about. And I think I'm going to stick some things over the midline, because don't forget this is a book, not just a layout. So yeah, I am going to start gluing this down. I had a proper play with the colours and the balance of where the big orange areas are. There's a lot going on that side, but anyway, let's just see what that would look like over there before I commit. Not very good at committing to things. But that's where the gluing is really good, to force a bit of decision making. I actually prefer that, I think. Is the cow getting lost amongst these purple stripes? Would that work? Is the cow the first thing? If we're reading left to right and it was a story, is the cow the key thing, or is the girl the key thing? Or am I totally overthinking this? Probably. Maybe the cake goes there. I quite like that actually. And that flower can go halfway across. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. I can always add a couple more butterflies at the end. Right, let's get the glue and finalise some stuff. So I've got my Crit stick. Oh, I did remember to ink around the edges of everything, I think. So that's going about there. There we go. So another reason I've not been quite as active on YouTube over the last week or two is I've been trying to finish off some of my books. With Christmas only a few months away, it can take a little while to get things up and running on the old Amazon platform. So I have a new Christmas book coming out. Fingers crossed. It's just going through the process on Amazon at the moment, and hopefully that one should be available in a few weeks, and that should give the algorithm time to work out what book it is and show it to the right people. Let's just get another page to glue because I don't want everything to stick together. There we go. Yep, so I've got one Christmas book definitely. Oh, I'm hiding all that now. That never mind. Hiding all that. Sorry, oh God, what was I saying? The Christmas book that I have coming out. I'm also toying with, I don't want to give too much away just yet, but I'm also toying with doing a sort of parallel one because I've gone for a colour theme. So I'm just starting to think about what images might go in the sort of parallel book. And yeah, I'm excited. Oh no! Oh, for goodness sake, I've just ripped the flower. Oh dear, you might have seen that on camera, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I'm going to glue it down. Oh, look at that. Oh dear. Oh, there we are, look. If I just cover over the ripped bit, I think nobody will know. Don't tell anybody. Okay. I think we're all right. Some of it's going to hang off the end. A little bit's going to... There, look at that. You'd never know. You'd never know. It's definitely one of the joys of collage. If you don't like it, you can cover it up. If you rip it, you can stick it back together again. There we go. Right, I'll trim that a bit later. Let's get our beautiful cow in the hat stuck down. Let's find a bit that's not too gluey. There we go. Yeah, I did like the nonsense rhymes in that book. They were a bit different. They weren't nursery rhymes, they were sort of Edward Lear type rhymes. I'm not sure if they were by him, but I used to love Edward Lear. Is that where it was going to go? Was it further over? I think it was about there. See, that hat is exactly the same colour, isn't it? Look at that, and the cow's eating the tulip. So the flowers tie in as well. Did I want to cover that up? That means that's going right down the edge of the centre. I'm not sure. Could go there, but then it looks like everything's sitting in a row at the bottom. Oh, come on. Maybe I'll just leave the flowers because this butterfly has a bit of orange and yellow and it's not a million miles away. Maybe it will draw the eye, so that means this has to go somewhere else. Maybe there, and then there's a little bit of symmetry going on and he can sit there. I sort of wanted it a bit more dancey than that. How annoying. Should have paid a bit more attention to where I put the cow in the first place. Then it looks like that one's hiding behind there and that one's hiding behind there. Oh, I'm really overthinking this, guys. I'm sorry about that. Just don't want it to look too static. They're already stuck. Sort of wanted everything to be floating about. Yeah, that's better. It doesn't look too heavy at the bottom. Let's do it. Let's do it. Right, I shall try not to rip my ephemera pieces. There goes my butterfly. See, it's quite easy when things don't need to relate to one another to just stick things down. But when you're trying to form a sort of cohesive image, it requires a little bit more forethought and planning. That can go there, I think. Let's go with that. I think I'm glad I included the cow having its dinner, because it is a bit of a bonkers book anyway, and being a nonsense book, it was a bonkers book before I cut the pictures out and ruined it. Made it my own. I wonder what Nicola Bailey would think. I don't know whether she's still publishing children's books, or even if she's still with us, because I'm talking about late 80s when that book came out. I have no idea how old she was at the time. Another illustrator I really adored using with children at school was Jane Hissey. Remember the Old Bear books? Similar sort of illustrator with, I think, colouring pencil. Old Bear, Jolly Tall. Oh, I love those stories. There we are. And when I taught 4 and 5-year-olds, those were some of my go-to end of the day storybooks. Oh, I was going to stick some across the middle there, wasn't I? Maybe just that one. Anyway, I can always come back to it and add a little bit more. There. Have I stuck everything? Yes! Wow! I'm still not sure about that yellow tulip, but hey, I suppose I could get my colouring pencils out and just blend it in and make it a little bit more orange. That is an idea. Anyway, I'll leave that for now, because obviously this book is not going to get finished in today's video, which wasn't the plan. Let's just trim that. And I'm going to ink around the edges. Do I want to use that tiny piece anywhere? No, probably just too fussy. Can get a bit too much into the detail me sometimes. Right, I'm going to stick with the hickory smoke again, and let's just get a little bit of consistency around the edges, just to sharpen up the look. I don't want to do too much on the back page, because as you can see, I've got completely different, also slightly bonkers print going on the back. And I don't want to influence whatever it is I'm doing over there. There we go. It would be great to invest in some more colours of archival inks. I think some blues, purples, greens, turquoise. Those would be great, but not just at the moment. This stuff all adds up. If you love crafting, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Stuff gets pricey. There we go. Now I might try nail filing around the edge of this if it's not really smooth. It's another one of my beautiful friend Nicole's top tips. But I don't have a nail file to hand, so I'll leave that for today, but I might go through the book later in another video. So if you want to support my channel, that would be wonderful. I'm just getting started. I think this is about video number 20 or 21 or something. So you can do that by liking the video, subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, watching some of my other videos, leaving them playing all night long so that the YouTube algorithm picks up that my videos are popular. Hopefully they will be. Yeah, so there we go. That is my double page for today in my whatever book I'm going to call this. Gelli print Nicola Bailey-esque nonsense rhyme book. Gelli print nonsense book. That might do. Whether I'll make a cover to that effect, I don't know. I could put that snail lady on the front, couldn't I? Anyway, that's for another day. So I am going to stop now. And yeah, there we go. I think that's the sort of thing I'm going to continue in this book, and I'll need to make some more pages to rescue Nicola Bailey's book. You can see where the rhymes were on the back of the page. Right, that's it. Toodle pip. See you next time. Bye.